Hey guys, hi. Very good evening to all of you and welcome to the session. This is your master teacher Harish Priyam and I'm in front of all of you again with a very new and interesting topic. How to overcome laziness. Yeah, a lot of people do have that, isn't it? And people do think that, okay, I don't know how to overcome it, but yes, it is troubling me and it is having some problem. So people do know that, okay, they are lazy, but people don't know actually that how to handle it. So today I'm going to talk about it, that how you can actually handle laziness. Okay, so let's start our session without wasting any much time, without being any further lazy. Okay, here we go guys. Now the most important thing for all of you is that to accept this fact that being lazy is not a bad thing, guys. Believe me, it's not a bad thing, not at all. Now why I would say that? So see, everyone's scenario does not match all the time. So say for example, I mostly think that I need a break, a kind of 2 to 3 days of break once in a quarter. So once in a quarter precisely means after every 3 months, and I do feel that. So sometimes I also used to think that, okay, I have been lazy and maybe I'm not working pretty well and I'm not concentrated on my work. But over the period of time, when I try to introspect myself and when I connected with many of the thought leaders, many of the industry specialists, they actually said me that, Harsh, the amount of work which you do and the type of work which you are doing, they involve immense pressure, immense handling capabilities and multiple other things where your intellect knowledge is required a lot, and that completely drains your body very fast. So the rate of charging and discharging is pretty fast, and hence your entire battery drains up pretty fast. Now once they made me this point understand, I very immediately adopted this thing that, okay, if I am feeling for a break in 3 months, that's very normal. I shall take it. And once I started giving my brain this feedback that, okay, the type of work which I am doing, it actually involves a lot of what you can say, mental exertion, then it's absolutely fine. And the moment I said my brain to this thing, my brain stopped resisting. Earlier my brain used to resist that, okay, you are not performing up to your level, but now my brain stopped resisting, and that resistance saved a lot of my fuel. So that is one part, and surely I have become more productive, more precise and more concentrated. So my lovely students, this is first thing that you should know, that the type of work which you are doing is which type of work. Is it very mentally exhaustive work? So say for example, I'll just give you an example. Reading a book for 3 hours can actually make you drain out something like equivalent to working 8 to 9 hours in the field. Absolutely. Please do not think that I'm over exaggerating, because if you work for 8 hours, so say for example any marketing representative, any marketing guy who is in the field for 7 to 8 hours, he'll come back to home, he takes a 2 hours of nap and he is fresh. If you study 3 hours a book, you also have to take a 1 hour nap, then only you'll be fresh again. Otherwise, after that 3 hours of study, if you want to study further, you won't be able to study. So what I mean to say that 3 hours of mental work is equivalent to 8 hours of physical work. So the type of work which you are doing is actually makes a very huge difference, that which type of break do you need. So first of all, you have to understand that being lazy does not always mean that you are not willing to work. It simply can even mean that your brain has stopped responding, or probably your brain has reached its limit and now your brain cannot work further. It needs a break, it needs a pause. So that also can lead to laziness. So first of all, accept this fact that laziness is not always bad. Okay, so just clear your slate and don't think that, okay, if you are a lazy person, then precisely it means that you're not going to succeed. Obviously not that. It's not like that. If you are lazy, it might be a reason that you might be working a very different set of work where there is a lot of mental exertion and probably your brain is getting drained up pretty fast. That might be one of the reasons. Okay, fine. Now let's get into the next thing. The next thing is that feeling too often lazy is not okay. Yeah. So that is one again area. Now many of you might be thinking that those who might be feeling lazy pretty often, they might be feeling, yes sir, I'm the one who had this first case where I feel lazy. So I'm damn sure that I will be doing a lot of hard work. But again, there's a caution here. It's not mandatory. It might be that there might be a lazy person itself who is completely lazy, and he just keeps on thinking, okay, I have a lot of work. I do a lot of work in the entire day. I go to school and then come back. See how big work am I doing? 8 hours of school one day. That work is, it means the same amount of work my dad does at such an age. So obviously I'm equivalent to my dad, and hence means I ought to drain up this much. But the fact is that you don't have to be lazy every time, because as a child, as in the age bracket which you are right now, you have a lot of potential, a lot of energy in yourself, so that you can even work after your working schedule, your time. So means you have a lot of energy, I want to say. Now the fact is that how you can actually utilize that. So first of all, you'll have to understand that what's that exact balance, and I'll tell you what's that exact balance. Don't worry. Fine. So you should know what's that exact balance, and thereafter you should start working on that. If you are lagging behind, this means that yes, surely you are lazy, and if you are above that, then you can surely say that if you are feeling lazy, it simply means that you need a pause, you need a break. Okay, chalo, let's move on. So one thing, very important thing, that reasons for being lazy. Now reasons for being lazy, that's what I was saying, that it could be multiple reasons. Now say for example, I'll tell you, if you don't like social studies, as what was the situation in my case when I was studying in my class 10th, I did not used to like social studies. So at that point of time, whenever I used to open the book and I used to study it for like 1 hour, and then I used to go in a deep sleep, like fully meditation sleep kind of thing. And I never understood, man, that why this social studies always and always, without even fail, or even for a single moment, it always brought me a deep sleep, absolutely deep sleep. I always used to think, why this happens? And for so many years, I did not get the answer. I eventually thought that, okay, it might be the boring attitude or boring type of that chapter. That's why I'm getting sleep. But when I grown up and when I actually researched on this, that why this is happening with me, I figured it out that social studies, my brain was not ready to accept, because I hardly used to understand anything in that chapter. Maybe because probably I was not so connected to my teacher, and or my teacher would not have made the concept understand so easily. It could be any reason. But my brain always used to think that it is a very tough topic. Now after studying that tough topic for 1 hour, my brain used to give a lot of alarming signals that, okay, 1 hour, man, 1 hour you have done such a tough job for 1 hour. And hence my brain used to drain up, and then I used to sleep up. So that is that part that you should know, that how you can actually drain up pretty fast. Reasons for being lazy. This would be one reason. Second reason could be like, okay, you might be missing the motivation itself. You don't have that motivation. You're feeling like, okay, why should I study? Life is good this way also, man. Even if I don't study, that is not going to barge on me. That is not going to throw me out of my home. So mom is also like, chill. I have a business. My dad is earning well. I don't worry. I don't need to worry. So if you don't have a motivation, surely you can be again lazy. So the fact is that the reason for being lazy could be multiple things. But it is very important for you to actually find out that reason, that why you are lazy. Otherwise, you will not be able to work on that why you are lazy. And that is the next part. That first, you should know that why you are lazy. This is the first step. You should know how to do the root cause analysis. This is called as RCA, that you should be able to do the root cause analysis of the problem. Now, say for example, let me just give you an example. Say for example, you just came to know from some of your friend that your friend has completed one complete entire book of mathematics of R.S. Agarwal. Just say for example. And you heard that that student is also Harsh Priyam sir's student, and you are also Harsh Priyam sir's student. And then you come to know that, okay, Harsh Priyam sir is the same, Vedantu coaching is same. He completed the one entire chapter and I have completed only 3 chapters. Sorry, he completed one entire book and I completed only 3 chapters. So this means I'm lazy and I need to buck it up. Now, once you go to studies, you don't feel like studying. You don't. So you got a motivation in your brain that, okay, today, damn, I'm going to complete 1 chapter, man. Not less than 1 chapter. But when you sat, you just studied for like 15 to 20 minutes and then you stood up. Now you're thinking that, okay, I'm a damn lazy person. I can't even sit for one chapter. I can't even sit for 2 hours without a break. This means I'm a damn lazy person and I'm not going to complete it. Now the thing is this, that you have to do a root cause analysis that why you are not doing that. Now let me just contemplate few options. You might find the best one suited for yourself. So say for example, you might be having this thought that the syllabus is too large, so large that I would not be able to cover it up no matter how hard I try. It may be in the back of your mind. It might not be directly appearing to you in the front, but somewhere in the back of your mind, you might be thinking that, okay, this syllabus is not so easily achievable. So that friend of yours have already completed 15 chapters and you are the third chapter, you still have to complete 12 chapters. So you might be thinking that, okay, no matter how hard I work, I would not be able to achieve it. So once your brain accepts the fact that this target is unachievable or achievable with a very exceptional quality of work, your brain stops working on that. Your brain understands that, okay, it's not achievable either way. So why should I unnecessarily burn my calories? This could be the one way. Second reason could be. Now, second reason could be that you might be thinking that, okay, I'm getting something around 80%. My parents' expectation are not more than 85%. I think that not even if I don't study, I would be able to manage 85% because over the period of time I have developed my interest in physics and chemistry. So my science is going to be good. Social studies has been good. So even if I don't study mathematics, it would be fine. Now, even though you don't tell this thing to yourself, if you thought somewhere this thing in your mind, this might be one of the reasons that why you're not getting a motivation to actually study. Third thing, so now say for example, there could be other reasons as well, like you understand or you take yourself that, okay, I'm not such a brilliant student and the friend which I'm talking about, he's an exceptional genius. And the moment he starts solving the questions, all the questions get solved. And when you start solving the question, in the very first question, you got stuck down and you think like, okay, it's not my cup of tea. Again, you might lose that motivation there. Now, I have given you 3 examples, but there could be 30 examples. There could be 30 reasons for that. The thing is that you have to do a root cause analysis that why you are not getting the motivation. What is the reason behind that? Once you will be able to figure it out, then only you will be able to work on that. Okay, now, so let me just tell you one by one. So first thing that, okay, you have to do the RCA, root cause analysis, then you have to start working on that. Second thing would be avoiding unnecessary perfection. Now what happens that, I'll give you an example. Now, this is a very simple example. Most of the students do ask me that, sir, in NCERT, there is an exercise at the end, optional exercise. Okay, so many of the students do solve that. But some of the students who are not so intelligent, they find it difficult for the NCERT normal examples only to solve. Now, say for example, you have a chapter 6 and you solve 6.1, 6.2, 6.3 and now you have a 6.4 exercise which is optional. Now you were literally fighting in solving 6.1, 2 and 3. Now you heard about your friend that, okay, he has solved the entire NCERT and then RS Agarwal as well. You thought, okay, I would solve the optional because my friend has also done that. But you took a challenge which is very much tough for yourself, or where you are probably trying to perfect yourself. The fact is, why I am saying this, because my lovely kid, you have to be practical that at that point of time you are finding difficult in solving the regular normal exercises of NCERT. How are you expecting yourself to solve the optional exercise, that too without a guidance? Will it be possible? Probably, even if it is possible, it would be very tough for you and it may take days or weeks for you to actually cover up the optional exercise. Now, what would happen if you take it and if you have a lot of determination, what will happen that you will end up getting demotivated that, okay, it's so tough that it actually consumed my 5 days and I'm not so worthy that I should be able to solve these questions, which is absolutely not right. On the contrary, what would have been a better strategy, that if you would have opened the NCERT book, you would have solved 6.1, 2 and 3 with minor hiccups. Now thereafter you would have left 6.4, assuming that, okay, it's a tough exercise. First I'll solve all the easy exercises. Then you would have moved to 7.1, 2, 3, 4 and then you would have left the optional exercise, then again to 8th. by the time you would have completed the entire 15 chapters, you would have that confidence that I have completed the all 15 chapters, all to all. Only one part is remaining, that is option exercises. So here, your brain would have given you an instruction that, okay, you're already at a leading position. You have completed the entire chapter without the syllabus being completed. This means you're a champion. So now at this point of time, your brain will say, okay, if you are a champion, why not try for option exercise? Even if it does not get solved, it does not matter me a lot. And then your brain's working will improve drastically. So that is called that don't get into perfections, unnecessary perfections, and that too very stringently. It is very okay to be imperfect, because then there is a scope of perfection, and always that is a better situation. Okay, so please avoid unnecessarily emphasizing on the perfection part. Cool. Chalo, let's move on. Next thing is be practical. So be practical simply means that you should take those targets which are achievable. Now say for example, again the same example, like your friend did 15 chapters, you are at 3rd chapter, and you took a target that, okay, in the next 15 days or next 12 days I'm going to cover up 12 chapters, which is impossible, man. Even if you do one chapter today for the first day, for the sake of good luck, tomorrow you won't be able to do that. Even if you do tomorrow, I'm damn sure in 12 days you can't complete 12 chapters, which is impossible, because there would be chapters which would be tough. There would be point of time where your motivation would go down, and you have to take those things into consideration. You can't just make impractical choices like 2 chapters a day, obviously not possible. Or say for example, completing the entire trigonometry in one day, obviously not possible. So don't make impractical goals, targets. It will again bring down your confidence level, and hence it will increase your laziness. Okay. Now, next thing is think on your strengths. Now what happens? Most of the people work absolutely opposite. What happens that, say for example, you have an examination tomorrow, or not tomorrow, tomorrow is too early. Say for example, you have an examination like next month on the same day, like today and tomorrow you have an examination. Okay, fine. If you have an examination, not tomorrow, on the next month, then what students start doing? So say for example, in their examination, 7 chapters are coming, including trigonometry, okay, and triangles, trigonometry, quadratic equation, polynomials. Now they know that, okay, real numbers is pretty easy, polynomials is pretty easy, pair of linear equations pretty easy, but I have some problem in triangles and trigonometry. So what they would start doing, they would start from today until the 29th day, they will solve trigonometry, triangles, trigonometry, triangles, trigonometry, triangles, trigonometry, triangles, only this. Okay, fine. Now on 29th day, let me assume that you are a master of trigonometry and triangles. Master, absolute master. Now just tell me how many questions out of 50 marks paper or 100 marks paper, how many questions do you expect from triangles and trigonometry? Only 2 chapters out of 7 chapters. So I'm damn sure your teacher would be giving equal weightage to all the chapters. If it is a 50 marks paper, every chapter goes with a 7 marks weightage. You took 2 chapters, you are a master of 14 marks, but what about the remaining? And if you are thinking that, okay, those chapters were already good for you, let me clarify on that part. You are never the best one. Teacher always has those set of questions where he can or she can actually trick you. So the thing is this, that you'll have to actually understand that making a practical decision or making a practical goal is very important. Okay, and even if you focus too much on those weak areas, it would not help you that much. So say for example, much more better strategy would have been that if you would have given 2 days every chapter, or probably 3 days to those chapters which were weak, then in just 7 chapters, 2 days every chapter, so that would have made 14 days, and then you dedicate 2 or 3 days extra to those chapters which are weak. Probably it would have been much more better strategy. So try to concentrate on your strength rather than on your weakness. If you will try to focus completely on your weakness may be strong, may not be strong, but surely your strength topic will come down, and they will have a massive impact on your thinking, on your confidence. So please don't do that. Okay, chalo. Next one is, okay, this is an important information. Important information is what to be on the seat of Kaun Banega Crorepati. If you want to be, then stay tuned for a very big announcement on 5th of October, where you are going to get an absolutely awesome opportunity to actually be a little more closer to your dream. Okay, fine. Chalo, let's move on. Here we go. Now the next part is plan things. Okay, so that's what mostly happens now. That say for example, again we have an examination on like next week, and then we just say okay, I have to just revise, and people just say that okay, I have to revise. Now what to revise, which chapter to revise, which topic to be revised, how much time it will take, how much amount of energy it will take, or how much time do I have in a day, they don't take care of anything, man. They just simply say okay, I have to revise, and they start, and they literally do that. They just take out the notebook, they just take out the copy, and they start revising from chapter 1, revising. Now this may not be the best method. So sometimes you might get good result, but it is not absolutely not the best method to revise. Now, not only talking about revision, it may be for anything. Planning is the most important thing. So say for example, if you have 7 days in your hand and you have 7 chapters, you should plan accordingly. You should know how much time you would be able to dedicate every day to your chapter. Or if you have 30 days, you have 7 chapters, you should know how much time to every chapter, on which day, which chapter, how much hours dedicated to which topic. Everything should be in a detailed plan. And making that plan would also make you accountable in your mind that okay, you have set these targets on your own, so you have to meet them, and that is very important. Okay, chalo, let's move on to the next. So the next talks about positive self-talk, and this I recommend to everyone. In fact, I do it myself, so I recommend to all of those students also. Many people find it very lame type of idea, but I find it very useful. Now what I do to myself, I just sit silent and I just talk to myself like, okay, yeah, tomorrow is the exam. Okay, yeah, fine. So what will I do? Okay, so I'll have this question, I'll do this. I'm good at it, man. So yeah, I'll go to the examination. I'll rock it, man. I'll rock it. I just keep on talking to myself. Sometimes people come some of my family members come to my room, although they have understood now that I'm this type of guy. But earlier they used to think, have you gone mad? Have you gone mad? They're like, you're talking to yourself. Is it like that? Are you like schizophrenia? Or are you like mental? And I tell them no, it's not like that. I just like talking to myself because that gives me immense confidence. That boosts my entire confidence level. And I have seen multiple people talking to themselves in the mirror. Okay, yeah, buddy. Okay, so in front of the mirror, yeah, you are looking great, man. Okay, you have a muscular man. Surely tomorrow you are going to win. Yep, I am damn sure you are going to win. You are born to win, man. You are born to win. See how happy you are, how confident you are. And the moment you will start speaking these words in front of the mirror, that mirror will reflect it back, because it will feel like that, okay, the person in front of the mirror or the person behind the mirror is telling you these things, that okay, how happy you are, and you would be actually able to see yourself happy. Try it once, try it today, just try it once. And when you will be seeing and looking at the mirror and you will be saying, wow, you're looking awesome, you're so happy, you look confident, then you will actually see your face and you will feel that yes, my face is confident, tomorrow I am going to rock it. So these positive talks are very important, very, very important. Many people do think that okay, this is procrastination and it should not be there, it's a very bad thing and XYZ things. I do not agree with that. In fact, I agree that these are very good things and it should be there. Okay, chalo, next one. Sorry, my mobile rang, so just give me a second. Yep. So moving ahead, the next thing would be seek help. Now this is a very important topic. Although many of the student does it, but at many point of time, many of the student do not do it. So this advice is for them who do not do it. Now guys, let me tell you, having a help or seeking an advice is never a bad option, never ever a bad option. So many people do think that it may put myself in a troubled position, or people might think about me that I am a loser, I'm a weak fellow. No, it's not going to happen like that. Even if today people are going to think about that, no worry. When you will be a stronger person tomorrow, that same person will have a respect for you. So please do not hesitate in asking for a help. That help might be from your friends, might be from your parents, might be from your teachers, might be from your family members. It could be from anyone, your elder brothers, sisters, anyone. But please get that help. If you need it, do not hesitate in asking that help from anyone whomsoever you believe, you trust. So it's a very important thing. Okay, so these could be the 7 ways with which you can actually tackle your laziness, and these all methods are pretty trusted methods, and people have worked upon this and they have got results. Okay, so that was all, folks, for this today's session. It was really a wonderful interaction with you all. I loved and enjoyed it. So please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel so that you get updates about the channel, which next video is going to come, and you get benefited yourself. And the next thing, that it's a good time. So just try, don't let yourself down, and you will surely win. Just tell yourself every moment. Okay, with this, it's time to say a very goodbye to all of you. See you all in the next session. Till then, bye bye, take care and good night. Bye.